Let us have some detail of drug receptor interactions. That is the first type that we have discussed earlier, a little bit earlier. So, first of all, what is a drug receptor? We have to understand this, that it is basically a macromolecular component of the body tissue, and it is the part with which a particular drug interacts, and upon interaction with drug, it basically initiates a series of pharmacological effects. The existence of these receptors was basically this concept of receptor came from the observations of G.N. Langley, and these receptors are on the basis of the experiments performed by these scientists, and along with him there was another scientist whose name was Paul Ehrlich, and they both of these scientists performed some experiments during the end of 19th century, and suggested the interaction of the receptor with the drug, and they suggested that this interaction is like a lock and its machining key. This is a very concept I have discussed it in my previous lectures. Receptors present in different cellular constituents are specific. These receptors always are specific in their size, they are specific in their shape and their structure, and they allow interaction with specific ligands. It is not possible that every receptor respond to every ligand. They respond to specific ligands, and these ligands are physiological substances. These ligands may be some drugs. So majority of the drug receptors are actually cellular proteins, and their normal functions are to mediate the actions of the endogenous regulatory ligands, and these endogenous regulatory ligands include the hormones, neurotransmitters, autocoids, etc. And there are some other components like nucleic acid and some other cellular constituents. They also they also are included in the category of drug receptor if we took receptor in a broader sense. So receptors can be regarded as a sensing elements, and these are the sensing element in a system. And what is the system? It is the sensing element in the system of chemical communication, and this communication is occurring between the regulatory ligands and cellular targets. So between the ligands and targets, receptors are basically acting as sensing elements. Whenever a ligand binds to a ligand binding domain of a receptor. Remember that receptor must have a ligand binding domain with which a particular ligand will bind. So whenever a ligand binds to a receptor through its ligand binding domain, a regulatory action is exerted, and this action is exerted in two ways. Either it is exerted directly or indirectly. So if this action is exerted directly, it occurs on cellular targets, and we call these cellular targets as effectors or effector proteins, right? Or number two, or it is conveyed to cellular targets. If it is conveyed to cellular target, that it means there must be some intermediate substances, right? So these intermediate cellular molecules are called transducers or couplers. So the receptor, its cellular target, and any intermediate molecule, they are referred, basically these three things are referred to as receptor effector system or signal transduction pathway, right? So uh, now there is another thing that must be kept in mind, that sometimes the effector proteins may not be the ultimate cellular target. We are talking about effectors, and these effectors are proteins, so sometimes these proteins are not the ultimate target. In this communication system, chemical communication system, there are situations when the system may synthesize or release an other signaling molecule, right? So this signaling molecule is usually a small metabolite or ion, and we call these signaling molecules as secondary messengers, and the function of these secondary messengers are to carry forward the message of the ligand. It means the drug that is binding with that bound with the receptor, right, to the ultimate cellular target. Types of receptors. Uh, Drug receptors have been classified into four superfamilies. These families are on the basis of their molecular structure and the nature of the signal transduction mechanisms. By signal transduction mechanism, we mean that the mechanism by which drug receptors occupied their occupancy is translated into some biological effects or into some biological actions. So these superfamilies of receptors are ionoreceptors, G protein coupled receptors, enzymatic receptors, and receptor regulating the gene transcription, or here it is protein synthesis regulating receptors. So these are basically four super families of major families of receptors. So here there are four different types of receptor families. First one is the ionoreceptor families or ion coupled receptors. Second one is the G protein coupled receptors, and third one is the enzymatic receptors, and fourth one is the receptors protein synthesis receptors or receptors regulating the gene transcription. These are again the receptor families, and this picture is taken from another book, but it is basically a duplication of the previous slide, uh, where receptors are presented in another manner. It is just for understanding of receptors. Okay, ji. Starting with the protein synthesis regulating receptors, or receptors regulating DNA transcriptions, or steroid receptors. So these receptors regulating DNA transcriptions are intracellular soluble proteins that regulate the transcription of specific genes. So all examples, all the steroidal hormones, thyroid hormones, vitamin D, vitamin A mediate their action through these receptors, and their cellular effects are produced mainly as a result of protein synthesis. So it means that when we are talking about protein synthesis, so their onset of action of these receptors will be slow, because protein synthesis will always take some time to produce its effect, produce its onset. So they are sufficiently lipid soluble and lipid soluble biological agents, and I have mentioned some other examples along with these examples. So these are basically, these DNA transcription are intracellular soluble proteins. They are located either in the cytoplasm or in the nucleus. These receptors for steroidal hormones are basically large monomeric proteins, and they consist of almost 400 to 1000 residues, and these residues consist of three large independent domains. The region which is nearest to the carboxyl terminus, it binds the hormone, and it serves as the ligand binding domain. So let us discuss what is the signaling mechanisms of these steroidal receptors. Uh, as we know, these are located intracellularly, so it means that they respond to only lipid soluble ligands that penetrate the cell membrane. Steroidal molecule being highly lipid soluble, they crosses the cell membrane very readily and binds to the specific receptor. So the complex is believed to unfold and expose the normally buried DNA domain and remove the inhibitory influence on it. Binding of a steroid to its receptor always promotes dimerization process. And what is this dimerization process? You can see it in the diagram in the slide, that it is basically linking of two steroid receptor complexes. Steroid receptors mainly act as dimers, some as homodimers and others as heterodimers, but they will act as a dimer with homologous cellular proteins. So the receptor dimer then recognizes and binds to certain well-defined regions in the nuclear DNA. They will not bind to any region, they will bind to a complementary region which is well defined in the nuclear DNA, and this activates specific genes. And this activation of genes basically facilitates the production of specific messenger RNA. Once the production of specific messenger RNA takes place, then this messenger RNA moves to the ribosomes and directs the synthesis of specific proteins. Now, these specific proteins, which are produced, they regulate the activity of target cells. So, different steroid hormones are able to activate different genes. not the same genes. It depends upon the steroidal hormones, that which type of hormone will activate a specific type of hormone will activate a specific type of gene and initiate completely different pattern of protein synthesis and produce different effects. So the effect of steroid receptor, it must be kept in mind. So the effect of steroid receptor, it must be kept in mind that it is very slowest in its time course of action in producing a particular action. It will take almost from 30 minutes to few hours, several hours to even days. It is because it is the time required for the synthesis of the new proteins. The effect of these receptors can persist for hours or days even after ligand has been removed. It is because of the slow turnover of newly synthesized proteins or enzymes. It means that they can remain active in body for hours or even days after they have been synthesized.